Every season and every year, Dollar Tree brings these fabric rolls that are great for crafting, especially during the holidays, and you don't even have to sew with them. I am going to start with this wooden pumpkin. I got this last year, so this is leftover from last year's stash, and I'm just going to give it a quick sand. This is just gets a little bit rough to the touch, and then wipe it well. I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge. Of course, you've seen me do this before. I'm just going to cover the entire surface. I'm not going to do the stem because it's not needed. Set it to the side to dry. I'm now going to take this piece of leftover fabric from last year, and I'm just going to iron it nice and smooth and remove any excess from the sides. I'm going to take a piece of foam board also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to freehand a larger stem for the pumpkin. The one that it has, it's okay, but it's a little small. After a few tries, I finally found one that I liked. With my X-Acto knife, I'm just going to cut it. Now I'm going to place the fabric on top of the now dry Mod Podge, place some parchment paper, and just iron it on. This will activate the Mod Podge and attach it very nicely. Using my X-Acto knife, I'm going to remove the excess fabric from all the edges, taking my time and making sure that it's nice and straight. Now I'm going to attach that extra large stem that we created with a little bit of hot glue. And now we're going to start adding some rope. This is nautical rope from Dollar Tree. It's the natural tone one. I'm just going to start lining all the edge all around the pumpkin. And now I'm going to take the same rope and I'm just going to wrap the stem around with it. Now this took a little longer, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I do want to show how I started. So I added hot glue in the end, in the front and the back, and then I just kept adding a little hot glue in between each stripe, and that way it's going to hold in place, and you just kind of keep doing it until it's all covered. I realized that once I was done, you can still see this edge right here, so I'm just going to add one more layer of the rope. This is just going to cover things up and just clean it up, I guess. All right, so now we're going to add some embellishments. I'm going to take this ribbon. This is beautiful blue ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to loop it like an awareness ribbon, and I'm just going to scrunch it in the middle, tie it with jute string. I did the same thing with this orange ribbon and then tied it right on top of the other ribbon. I'm going to fluff as needed, just making sure that the bow looks where I want it, and then I'm going to angle cut the legs. I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the pumpkin right there at the base of the stem. Added greenery to each side. These are from Walmart. I'm going to add a cute little flower right there in the center of the bow, and then some extra little seeds on each side just to add a little pop of color. Nothing major. Now we need something to hang it with, so I'm going to take some of this natural color jute string. We're just going to wrap it around the base of the stem to the back, make a knot, and then loop it into just a little loop that we can hang it. And then I thought to myself, I think this would be really cute to create extra little texture on the stem, so I'm just going to hot glue it to the back and then just start winding it all the way to the top and then bringing it right back down. This is just going to give it, again, just texture and a little bit of a design. Again, just hot gluing in the back to secure it in place. And that's about it. What a gorgeous and easy craft you can do. There's a few steps, but they're not hard. Such beautiful colors. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I'm so excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Home Chef. As a busy homeschool mom, work from home, and everything else in between, I can use a little help with dinner time. They offer simple, customizable, and convenient meal kit experience designed to make home cooking easy and enjoyable. What's so fun is that new recipes are added every single week to the menu, which makes it so good because that way you're not eating the same thing over and over again. Each recipe comes with step-by-step instructions, which makes it easy and quick. They have oven-ready meals as options, which makes cooking so easy. These easy prep, no mess meals, they come in an oven-safe tin, so post-dinner cleanup is a thing of the past, my friends. A third-party survey found that Home Chef ranks #1 in several competitive claims like easiest recipes and the best value. This sausage and red pepper pasta was amazing, and it was so easy. I just put it in the pan, mix the ingredients, follow the instructions, and pop it in the oven. It was creamy, delicious, and so good. And friends, they have dessert too. I mean, how easy is this? This key lime pie was so good. I placed it in the fridge for a little bit to thaw out, and it was creamy and delicious and so good. And here's the best part. If you scan this QR code or go to the description box, click the link there, use code DIYBOP50, you'll get 50% off on your first Home Chef box. What? What a great opportunity. If you've never tried them, this is it. Check them out. It is linked below. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take 3 pumpkins, one larger than the other one. And yes, we are making a stacked pumpkin. And I'm sure you've seen probably about 100 version of stacked pumpkins. But I'm going to show you a way you can decorate it that looks fresh and natural. Let me show you. So I'm just going to use this fabric and cover it up. So I'm going to remove the velvety kind of style fabric, and then I'm going to cut off a piece of the fabric. You just want to make sure that you cut enough fabric so that it wraps around the entire pumpkin, but not too much that it's wasteful. You don't want to do that either. I'm going to start hot gluing it, and this is how I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? You want to start hot gluing the shorter ends first, leaving the edges, the pointy edges, out, okay? So hot glue the 4 shorter sides first, tucking in that excess at the top. Once you have that attached, then you want to start adding the edges, and you just want to pull, cut as needed, making sure that you do leave enough fabric to be able to push in that hole. And then you want to keep doing this until the entire pumpkin is covered and all those ends are tucked in the middle. All right, now it's time to just attach the pumpkins. Nothing fancy about this. Hot glue it, one on top of each other. If you noticed earlier, I removed all the stems, but I kept the larger stem that came with the larger pumpkin because we're going to put it on top. The stem that came with the little pumpkin was just too tiny, so I'm just going to use this larger one, and I think it's perfect. I'm going to take this leaf. This is just a leftover leaf from a pig. I'm going to open it up just a little bit on top and hot glue it to the side of the larger pumpkin, almost like a skirt, like an apron. Oh my word, this is looking so beautiful, so fresh. I'm just going to keep adding tons of greenery. There's already a lot of color with a pumpkin, so I just want to add the fresh greenery right at the bottom one, and then just small ones on the top one. I am also going to add a little bit of an acorn, just a small one in the orange tone, because I feel like it really complements the design very well. I'm also going to add a small little pine cone to just the bottom and the top, and that's it. We're just gonna finish this one up, and I tell you, it's one of my favorite stacked pumpkins. It looks professional, it looks fresh, so trendy, and you can add this to anywhere in your home, your mantle, console table, side table, whatever you want. Gorgeous. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to try to recreate this very expensive Sears.com gnome. One of them is just almost $30, and I'm going to try to recreate it with these gnomes that I found at Dollar Tree Plus. This one has a little bit more of a Halloween tone, but we're going to switch that up, and we're going to make it look very close to what the original inspiration looks like. First thing I want to do is I want to cut off these bat wings. It has 2 and they were sewn in, so I'm just going to closely cut it as close as possible to the body without cutting the actual fabric. And then it's time to start working on the beard. Now I'm just going to try my best to kind of like brush the beard down because I don't want to remove it. I just want to place a new beard right on top. And I'm going to show you how I do this. It's a new technique that I recently saw online, and I learned it and I was like, I can't wait to use this. And here's my chance. I'm going to take some yarn and I'm just going to start wrapping it around and around a few times until I have as many as possible. And then I'm going to place it on top of a popsicle sticks. I'm going to separate the strands so that they're next to each other. And then we are going to just place the gnome right where I want him before I add hot glue. Then I'm going to add hot glue, just a nice strip of hot glue right on top on the edge. And then we're going to place it right where I need to. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds. Then I'm just going to open it up, remove the popsicle stick, and it removes pretty easily. And I am going to just kind of press down with it until I have it nice and attached. Now I am going to add 2 layers. I'm going to add orange yarn as well as yellow yarn just to add dimension and just some fun colors. I'm going to do the same exact process for every single part of the beard. And it did take a little long, but it's so satisfying. It was actually kind of fun. So I'm going to let you watch and see how I do it. Now I'm just getting it to the last little portion of the beard, and I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Added the orange one and then the yellow one right in between. I gotta say, this technique really worked and it looks flawless. You wouldn't even know that it was hot glued after the fact. So now it's time to trim the beard, of course. Now here my advice is cut very carefully, because if you cut too much, you can't add unless you start over. So just cut and then you can keep trimming little by little until you like what you see. So I just want to give it that nice V shape that most gnomes are known for. And then I'm just going to trim it and leave it as is until I kind of see if I need to trim it more. And then, of course, I want to cover the hat. So I'm going to use this fabric that has tons of pumpkin designs in beautiful fall colors. I'm going to cut off about 1/3 of it, and then we're just going to wrap his hat with it. We're not looking to replace it. We're just going to cover it up. So I'm just going to add hot glue at the bottom rim and start in the front and work my way back. Once I have it attached all the way on the bottom rim, I'm going to hot glue it to each other vertically. And that way it's going to be nicely attached. And then I'm just going to scrunch it up on the top and tie it with a piece of yarn. All right, so now to cover up the seam portion, because it's not very pretty, I'm just going to hide it with some nautical rope. This is the white type from Dollar Tree. Hot glue it all the way around, and then we're just going to add some florals. That's it. Some cute little green florals just to add texture and character. And here's a reminder what the originals look like from Sears.com. And here's what mine looks like. I am so proud of this gnome. Now, I'm not much of a gnome decorating person, but I love creating them. What do you think? These are leftover from other projects, and I'm just going to use this beautiful fall design wand and cut strips of 3 inches each, as well as cutting them then in half. So they're about 3 inches by about 6 inches. Did the same thing with blue fabric. This foam pumpkin is from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use a tool just to kind of make dents in all of those edges from the pumpkin design. I'm not going all the way through. I'm just denting it right now. Then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and I'm actually going to cut halfway through the foam. I'm not cutting all the way in. The pumpkin is hollow. So I'm just going to make dents right on all of those edges and then cut off completely the stem, because we are going to be replacing it. I saw this technique on Pinterest recently, and I had never tried it before, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a try because it looks really fun. I'm going to place one fabric, and I'm just going to start inserting it into that slit that I made. Again, it doesn't go all the way through to the inside, just about halfway. And I'm just going to cut and keep pressing and pushing it in as needed with this tool. This tool is one of those weeding tools that you can use when working with vinyl. I did the same thing with the other fabric, and then I'm going to continue to do so, alternating the designs. I'm going to speed it up here for you because it did take a little bit, but that's okay. I really enjoyed the process. It's coming along so cute. All right, so I'm just inserting here this one, and you can tell that I'm just cutting and inserting and pushing it in, and it just has this great plush look without it being plush. All right, so now for the top and the bottom, I'm just going to use my hot glue tip and just kind of add hot glue and push as needed so they're all joined together. I'm going to add one of these leaves that I have from other projects. I've used these all the time. I love them. And then I'm going to use one of these wooden stems from Dollar Tree and just press it right there, right on top. Then I'm going to add one of these fall leaves and add it right there. And then just a cute little simple flower just right there, because the fabric is the star of the show. Love this technique. I'm so glad I tried it. It was actually really easy, but I'd love to know what you think of this one. I have another video here for you with tons more of Dollar Tree DIY crafts inspiration. Thank you, Home Chef, for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, check out the link in the description box to take advantage of the discount. Have a blessed day. Bye.